People think Black people like poverty because we make it look so good or we make it look easy, but we don't actually like it. We're just used to it and we have pride in ourselves. So we're always going to try to present ourselves well, but no, we're not glorifying poverty.
Just because you are poor doesn't mean that you're a poor person. There's a difference.
Right.
It ain't easy, but we make hard look easy. That's just who we are.
Just because I don't have a lot of money doesn't mean that I have to suffer.
This is an Unsolicited Perspectives YouTube exclusive.
Jay, you sent me an interesting reel, and it was essentially talking about Black people and poverty. Can you tell the audience a little bit about what you sent me and just the basic premise of the reel?
Yeah, so it was another podcast. I want to say it's Grits and Eggs
Yes,
podcast.
that's what it was.
Yeah. And so the guest on the show made a very interesting comment. And what she said was, people think Black people like poverty because we make it look so good or we make it look easy. But we don't actually like it. We're making do with what we have. And we're still trying to have some pride in ourselves, even when we don't have a lot. But then you have like corporations, I know they talked about in the music industry, kind of glorifying this lifestyle of poverty, right? And you even got people who live in nice neighborhoods wishing that they were from the hood. And it's just like, no. Yes, there is a lot of talent and creativity in Black communities and lower income Black communities that don't get the access to shine, right? Yes, that is absolutely true. But we don't like poverty. We're just used to it. There's a little bit of a difference, and we have pride in ourselves. And so we're always going to try to present ourselves well, but no, we're not glorifying poverty. And I just thought it was a very interesting take, and I thought it was real too.
Yeah, so I always, me being a historian, I always look at the things that America has said has been, these turning moments of when it was at severe adversity and we persevered, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And one of them is the Great Depression. And I always look at that and I'm just like, so y'all were poor? And that was the thing that was this strong adversity that you pulled your way through as a country? You were poor.
Right.
I was like, that's a Black existence, the entirety of this country. Like that's what we, by and large, that's what we come from, is poverty. And yes, we make the best of certain situations. You only give us the worst of the pig, we're going to make chitlins. You only give us grain, we're going to make grits. You give us just a little bit of shellfish, we're going to make shrimp and grits. We're going to make the best of our situation because that's been passed down from generation to generation. Just because you are poor doesn't mean that you're a poor person. There's a difference.
Right.
You don't have a lot of money, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to be clean, that we're not going to make the best of our situation, and we're going to try to find joy in every situation.
Yes. We
persevere. And yes, because we persevere and have been doing it for generations, we make it look easy. It ain't easy. But we make everything, we make hard look easy. That's just who we are because it's in our DNA as a Black Americans. I don't know what it's like for African Americans, for people that actually come from Africa, right? I don't know what it's like for Black people in Central and South America. I don't know what it's like for them. But as Black Americans, in our DNA, it is make the best out of a bad situation. And that we're gonna do that because we seen our parents do it.
Yeah. And also, contrary to popular belief, we're not all in poverty.
Well, no, I'm talking about when people think of poverty as Black people. And when Black people are in poverty, yes, there are times when we make it easy, but there also in our music, we'll tell you exactly how hard it is.
Yes, it was extremely hard, to the point that we tried any means to get out of poverty. The whole reason we love mob movies and mafia movies is because it's rags to riches.
Right.
Like that's the whole point, is to get up out of it.
And also, yes, Black people will make poverty look easy because of the way we handle it.
Yeah.
But we're not the only culture that does that, right?
No.
Italians, Irish, Polish, like there are people that have really been poor in this country. And I guarantee you, like during the Great Depression, if we could go back and interview different minority groups during the Great Depression, that they would just be like, oh, what you mean? This is like a normal Tuesday. Like, I mean, like, what are you talking about? The country is struggling.
Yeah.
No, this is just everyday living. This is what we have to go. Look, the Irish made baked potato soup. And I don't know if you've ever made baked potato soup. The things that they've done with the potato, first of all.
Revolutionary.
Okay. I've had, because I used to work at an Irish bar. I was bartending in an Irish bar. And the foods that they would make were definitely poor people food that they just made delicious.
Yeah.
That they just made delicious. And I'm just like, yeah, you know, poor people will find a way to make themselves be happy in their situation.
Yeah. You can't tell me that rich people in England are eating beans on toast. When you get to the point where you just putting beans on some toast, so you can get you some protein and some carbohydrate. When you making syrup sandwiches, okay, you can't tell me that this is rich people food.
Hop and John, which is a delicacy right now.
Yes.
Right? Like that is nothing but rice and beans, because that's all you could afford was rice and beans, but they was damn sure gonna spruce it up.
We're gonna spruce it up. I don't care if it's Top Ramen, it's gonna get spruced up.
At Top Ramen, there are restaurants, 5-star restaurants that use ramen, right? When we went to Hawaii, Spam isn't allowed to dish. Spam is canned meat. You can't get no. I mean,
and really, meat, we use that term very loosely when talking about spam. Okay,
extremely loosely.
It's meat. Quotations.
But they're like great dishes, right? And when you think of the Loco Moco, right? It's nothing more than hamburger, egg, a fried egg,
or
white rice, not even fancy rice, rice with some gravy.
Yeah.
And it's a delicacy. Why? Because people's like, look, I got some hamburger meat, I got some white rice, I got a couple of eggs.
Yeah. And I got this leftover brown gravy.
Let's put it together. Let's see what's gonna happen.
See what happens.
And then you tasting like this is delicious.
Yeah.
You know?
Because just because I don't have a lot of money doesn't mean that I have to suffer.
Right.
And I think that's what people think, that poverty equates to suffering. And
you are suffering, but it doesn't mean that you have to feel as if you're suffering.
It doesn't mean I have to live like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have to. I can choose to spruce up this little bit of something. I can choose to put these clothes on layaway for the whole summer so that my kids got some new clothes for the school year. Like I don't have to be miserable because I'm in poverty.
We can make something simple as a sweatshirt, some jeans, and some Timberlands. One of the most fashionable things. And when you really think, Timberlands are expensive. Timberlands have always been expensive.
Think about our white tee era. It was a white t-shirt.
Simple white tee.
And there were songs about, in my white tee. Like a simple white t-shirt.
Because everybody can afford that.
Everybody can get one.
Everybody can get one. So, yes, no, look, we don't want to be in poverty. And we will do everything that we can to get out of poverty. Yes. But if we are in poverty, we're going to make the best of a situation. Look, but we're not, Latino people that live in poverty be having the greatest parties. They get themselves, a couple beers. They do something outside in the front yard, music blasting, good time. Just because you're in poverty doesn't mean that you have to feel sorry about
miserable. You don't have to be miserable.
Yeah.
Yes, you can want to be out of your current situation by any means necessary, but still choose to find joy somewhere in your situation. You don't have to be miserable.
Right.
And so we're choosing a lot of times, I'm not saying all of us, some of us are miserable, but we're choosing to find pockets of joy in a situation that should be, or they're telling you should be, joyless. That's all that is. But no, we're not glorifying poverty. We don't want to be in poverty. A vast majority of us are not in poverty. In fact, poverty rates have dropped post pandemic for Black people, according to the census. So it's like, but we get what you think, but no.
But it ain't that. We get what you think, but it ain't that.
Yeah.
And that is a YouTube exclusive.
Join the conversation and follow the Unsolicited Perspectives podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio podcasts.